Good morning and welcome back to Aid Morecambe Gardening. Welcome to all the garden lovers watching this latest episode. And today I'm going to share with you how I've planted up my rhubarb along with a little bit of ginger and also some horseradish. I'm also going to be sharing with you the very spooky and dark secrets regarding Great Britain's rhubarb triangle. Right, now back to the rhubarb, and for those who didn't believe me that it's a real thing, the rhubarb triangle exists to this day in West Yorkshire between the three towns of Wakefield, Morley and Rothwell. It's about a 9 square mile triangle which back in the 1900s produced 90% of the world's rhubarb. They produced so much rhubarb that they were shipping it daily on trains down to London to Covent Garden, and they were producing about 200 tonnes a day. That was then shipped around the world, and a lot of it ended up in Paris, where it was highly prized. It's fair to say that Britain was the world capital of rhubarb production, and they started producing this in the fields, growing their plants for about 2 years, fertilizing it regularly with whatever was available, sometimes horse manure, sometimes what they called human nighttime soil, which was just human waste. And when it had grown for a couple of years in the fields and the roots had stored up lots of carbohydrates, they'd lift those roots out of the ground, bring them indoors to great big sheds that were then they were replanted into the ground in these sheds, kept in the dark, given plenty of water, and of course Yorkshire is very famous for being wet and moist, and these sheds were heated and the rhubarb was then forced in the dark. And it's fair to say, as I say, we became the rhubarb capital of the world, so much so that to this day there is a rhubarb museum in Yorkshire. There are statues that have been erected, or sculptures should I say, to commemorate rhubarb in the area. There's a beautiful one in Wakefield, and also rhubarb in 2010 was given the European protected food status. So basically you can't say you've got rhubarb from the rhubarb triangle unless you actually have. Okay, I've just been into my seed store, found some horseradish which I'm going to put into the ground. But I also, oh my goodness, I also found some ginger from in the house, which I've been using in the kitchen, but it's starting to shoot. So I'm going to put that in and see how I get on. Now, rhubarb ideally should go in the autumn, but you can plant it in the spring. But if you plant it this spring, we're not going to pick anything off of this until next year, and we should be picking that off sort of from May onwards next year. But when we do pick it, we're never going to strip the entire plant, because if you take all of the rhubarb off, you'll kill the crown. Now this should last sort of a good 5, maybe 10 years in the garden. After that you'd probably have to replace it anyway. You're going to keep this well watered as well. As it grows, it's going to need plenty of water for these stems to develop. But as I say, nothing's going to be picked off that until next year, unfortunately. Don't know a lot about the horseradish. It says 5 centimetres, so 2 inches below the surface, 2 foot apart, plant in the spring. So that couldn't be more straightforward. And the ginger, total and utter guesswork. But you know my motto, there's no rules, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to dig myself a nice hole for each of them, put those in the ground, space them out across here, and yeah, see the results later on in the year. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like, give me the big thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends. Next video coming out soon, but in the meantime, keep on gardening.